All right, set myself as ref, and let's wait for Sen to join, and then Daybreak will be the map choice. Just double, triple check in case I was being trolled by the crowd. It is Daybreak.
Look, it wouldn't be...
I knew it was Daybreak. I was just testing.
What's the point in having a crowd if they're not willing to take the piss out of you every now and again? You know, we had people...
have to be shouted upon.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to do that. It's part of a healthy friendship and a healthy relationship between the crowd and the casters. We had some guy think that I hated you by the end of one cast.
It's a tough relationship.
Yeah, it is. It's a rocky road for us.
All right, what is Sen doing?
Who knows?
Oh, okay, he's gone to the toilet, so... Toilet time for Senny, old boy.
Has to be done.
So it's kind of important for these guys, obviously playing against each other, winning this group. Actually, looking at the group, Death Angel and Devil, Zerg heavy map.
I wouldn't underestimate Death Angel, honestly. I would never do that. That's a bad idea. I haven't heard of Devil, but certainly Death Angel, he can be quite dangerous.
I mean, any Zerg's dangerous. I mean, this skill caliber of Dreamhack win to any Zerg's dangerous, especially when Sen's faced up with so many Zerg versus Zergs. It can go either way. And Grubby, though, I think Grubby's quite happy with that group because Grubby's very good, obviously. Very, very good against Zerg recently. It's probably his best matchup recently. I mean, he's had trouble here and there against Terran. His PvP is quite good as well, but his PV Zerg is just really, really shining.
Beastly. He's been having troubles against Stefano.
His thumb on top of Nurtio, which is like the only person in the world to actually do that.
Which is actually kind of why I want him to go through and then hopefully get matched up against Nurtio again.
It would be an epic it would
series.
be. I mean, it's like 3 or 4 series in a row now Grubby's beat Nurtio.
Yeah, which is impressive in and of itself.
It's weird. It's like a mental block or something because, you know, at the same time, Grubby loses games to lesser Zergs. Not like Sen or anything, but there's a lot of other Zergs in online tournaments he loses to a lot of the time, but put him against Nurtio and he wins every game. No problem,
like, easy peasy.
It's like, how does he do it?
Well, no, I have no idea, but he certainly has a problem with Stefano, I can tell you that for a fact. But then again, I'm trying to think of someone that doesn't have a problem with Stefano right now, and I'm coming up pretty short on that one. The STC, I suppose, that would be about it.
Indeed, and Sen running away to the toilet.
He's back.
Yes. So
I have to ask if a gamma bear craps in the woods, does anyone notice? Well, we're going to have this game very shortly. GSL Daybreak. Interesting map choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad map choice, to be honest. I mean, it's relatively easy to take a third base if you play it safe. And also, there's a lot of timings you can do to punish a third base from a Zerg player.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Void Rays and Phoenixes are okay. Double Stargate's okay here as well. But I probably expect Grubby to play a more passive game. Something like Forge Fast Expand, then into getting a relatively early robotics facility, and then for a kind of fast third while kind of maintaining a Mortal Colossus kind of style. I think that would be the best for here, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see how that one turns out for him. I'm looking forward to this game. If it's anything like the first one, it will be absolutely electric. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, Sen is ready. Grubby's ready. Let's get ready to rumble.
Is the crowd ready, more to the point? I say the crowd's ready.
We've actually got a good series of games for the rest of the evening now.
We do, yeah, you should stick around.
Three best of threes including this one. But after this one, we have Genius, obviously coming over from Korea, playing against Predai, or Predwy, or Preddy.
Preddy, yeah.
And then obviously after that, we go into Grubby versus Devil. So
damn right. It's going to be good, folks. It's going to be good, and we shall be bringing you all the way through to midnight, most likely tonight. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to bring you Grubby from Team Grubby. He is in the green trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the southwest of this particular map. It's Protoss versus his opponent, Gamma Bear Sen. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the northeast.
And I told Grubby this when I was around at his house. I was like, man, why'd you call yourself Team Grubby? If you're a pro player, would you want to play for Team Grubby? It's a questionable, you know, it's
going to be pretty screwed if he wants to do 2v2s at any point.
I know. It is pretty bad. I mean, he'd have to play 1v2 maybe.
Yeah, pretty much. He'd probably win that. I can see that happening. I saw you play 1v2 at one point when I got disconnected from that game, and you won that.
Yeah. 1v2s are fun, especially when you get quadruple gas.
Yes.
It's like the 9-minute mark, and all of a sudden I have four base of worth of gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I disconnect from the game. It's like, here, have this gas.
I can build 30 Mulus at the 10-minute mark. This is like unheard of. But we do have that pylon on the lower ground here. I'm wondering how far Grubby will actually go in terms of building a forge. Obviously, 12 is the safest.
Yep.
Higher than that is pushing boundaries, especially against a player that goes early spawning pool. But here we are actually seeing a 12 spawning pool go down for Sen, which Grubby should not really respond with a Nexus first with. He should pretty much go for a forge on like 14, 15's good actually. 15 forge and then like Nexus, and then you can easily squeeze in the cannon before that.
Yeah, it depends if he wants to be gutsy. I mean, we saw him do it last time, but it was a much larger map and a much longer rush distance, so he can get away with it.
He's brave. He's like going to go Nexus first. So.
That's gutsy. It really, really is. And usually I'd say the 12 pool is not supposed to really punish Nexus first, even though you can use it for that. It's more of a case of, I get my lings out quick enough, I can get rid of the pylon, things like that. If you want to really punish it, you go for a much earlier pool. But yeah, that's a gutsy move, but maybe not. Actually, that's actually a later forge there, incredibly late forge on 16.
Well, actually, over here in Sen's base, he can only build 4 Zerglings in a second because he doesn't quite have the lava yet.
Yeah.
So I feel that the spawning pool that early was more to kind of stop any cannon rushes, to prevent the probe building the pilot down and so on. But we do have Grubby throwing the Nexus down. He can very easily throw down a cannon and be quite safe here.
Yeah, he should be fine now. There's no real doubt about that. The cannon will go down. The Nexus is going down as well. So let's see how that one goes. And Grubby's pylon you'd think it would be cancelled. There you go. There's no point in really wasting that. It can cause some very awkward supply blocks. It's a bit of a waste of money, especially when the lings are out. So it's not worth the 100 minerals for that long. Cannon on the way up, Gateway on the way up to follow that one up as well. Grubby is setting up his fairly standard defensive formation and sends Overlord on the way in, knowing, of course, that there is no Cybercore, there is no threat to that Overlord right now, so he'll be able to park it behind the Nexus for a while.
So what we should be seeing here, there it is, the third base coming down at the 4-minute mark, which is basically, if you compare the previous game, it was at 6 minutes 30 or so, or 6 minutes.
Yep.
That's with gas and with speed. Without gas and without speed, you can actually get it down at 4 minutes. You're cutting that 2 minutes off. So Grubby immediately sees that now. How will he respond in this? And it'd be pretty crazy if he decided to throw down an early Nexus now as well. But it looks like this probe is just going to go ahead, hide at the north side, and then potentially go and scout later on for sure.
Yep. He'll try and get out. This one's going to try and get out of the way anyway, and this one will hide, as you mentioned before. Nothing but probes ready for Grubby right now. He's not going to bother building a Zealot just yet. He's going to hold on to that for the moment. And this wall-off is complete, so unfortunately for the probe, it is going to get destroyed thanks to the cruel building positioning of his Overlord.
So usually you should be seeing the gas come down around 34 supply, so it should be coming down because you can't go that long without speed upgrade.
No.
So it could be quite dangerous. And this probe is a little sneaky little guy up here. Meanwhile, the Cybernetics core is coming down. The third gas has not been taken yet, so that usually means that we are going to be seeing a couple of gateways thrown down very, very shortly here. There's a lot of gas banked up, though, because he hasn't decided to build that sentry yet, which should come up next, and as well as that +1 attack.
You'd certainly think so, wouldn't you? And there we go. At least photon cannon's being used for something. It's a very expensive investment otherwise, and it's actually going to be a Stargate on 2 gas, which, I mean, that to me indicates a bit of Phoenix play, but what do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have enough for it. So he can get, like, a Void Ray, but he won't be able to do more than that, so if he wants to keep up with consistent production on the Stargate, it's usually going to be Phoenixes here.
Yeah.
He can do a Void Ray and then back it up with Phoenixes, but it's not going to be like the last game where we saw 3 Void Rays in a row.
Yeah.
He simply doesn't have enough gas for that if he wants to keep a sentry and so on to kind of defend the areas. But we do have this pylon down here at this north side. I have to see what Grubby has planned for that later on, and I don't even know how that probe transferred or teleported more.
How the hell did it get down there? It's just managed to sneak its way out. It's a gutsy probe.
It passes lings on the Zelnaga towers and everything, but managed to get down there. Meanwhile, there is that third gas going on, and we should be seeing a Void Ray coming out from this Stargate now, probably being backed up with Phoenixes here. He can go for another Void Ray, but that means he can't get a second sentry, which means he is a little bit dangerous to any form of pushes at the front. Yeah,
he is going to take all 4 gas, so I think he wants the option there one way or the other. That Overlord is going to die. It's a sacrificial one. He needs the information. He might even end up sacrificing 2 Overlords here. I think this one should be safe, though. He sees the Stargate. He wants to see what's coming from it. This hidden pylon remains. The other one actually been spotted by an Overlord, but he's not sent anything to deal with it just yet.
And it looks like Grubby's thrown down 3 extra gateways, so it's pretty much the same build as we saw previously, where he's built a first Void Ray. Second Void Ray is now on its way as well, and 2 pylons have been hidden down at this bottom right-hand side. So very, very shortly, as we see the warp gate finish, we will be seeing Zealots warped in, probably from this pylon right here, to charge down onto this third base. But look at that, smartly, Sen already throwing up a spine crawler in anticipation. for some form of aggression.
I don't know if one Spinecrawler is going to work against 6 extra gateways, honestly. That is a lot of pressure coming in right here from Grubby. And backed up by the Void Rays as well. It's going to be a potent combination. It'll be easily able to whack his way through the roaches. Single Spore Crawler at the front to try and deal with one Void Ray, thinking, oh, it's just a bit of Void Ray pressure. It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. It really isn't. And that's 16 drones coming behind that. Look at the army supply. And Sen is really pushing it. He's only got 6 roaches and a Zergling.
Sen is pushing it a lot, and actually we actually see Grubby pylon blocking, well, not pylon blocking, but killing his own pylon so that he could get out and then realize that, oh, I just empowered my Cybernetics core. But with there are the Zealots coming in now. Void Rays, this is going to be very close. Sen's probe count is extraordinarily greedy right now. 66 drones right now, so the longer this goes on, the better Sen's going to be, but Grubby has a nice window to hit hard right now. He's at 7 gateways, so he should definitely be hitting hard right now. 2 Void Rays, 7 gateways. Bling would be proud.
Yes, he would. Grubby's going to go for it. He needs to try and clean up this queen. Grubby is not going to get away with that one, I'm afraid. Sen, that is the one thing he was kind of holding on. He actually has 6 queens now. He's going for 7. That's really difficult to deal with. Those are hard to kill when you have that many transfusers.
Let's have a look at Sen's vision. I don't think he's seen all these extra gateways being added on, so this may come as a bit of a surprise here. More Stalkers are being warped in. He's going to launch himself here. On this kind of location in the bottom right, he can very easily force field this ramp as well with sentries to do a lot of damage. Equally can do it here. Could actually trap all 3 queens out.
Oh, they're off creep. Very nice move there by Grubby, tempting them in using the Void Ray, and then a trap is sprung. He could have trapped that one, but he would have also force fielded himself out of the base, which is not what he was looking for. 17 roaches in production right now to smash this. So Grubby's got to get out fairly soon, I think.
The ramp actually with a force field,
yeah, he would be all right.
A lot of these roaches from actually coming down, and there
it is. Very nicely done there by Grubby. The reinforcements come in. Sen is now supply blocked as well, having lost another Overlord, but don't worry, he's going to clean up some supply for him. Grubby extremely kind in that regard. Look at the force fields, all of there, elegantly placed. Needs to try and force field again. Oh, lets one through to just slam it down immediately. Queens being produced from all sides. Sen trying to deal with that supply block problem again. Another queen will be destroyed. The Void Ray stays alive as well. More pressure comes in now from Grubby. Army supply count looking pretty ugly one way or the other. Drones pulled off to deal with this. Is there any sentry energy to force field? Yes, there is one. He's got to land it, though. He lets a few through, and he's got to be a bit careful. Grubby's got a lot of units available right now, though. Got a micro against these drones. Doesn't want to take unnecessary damage. Zealots at the front tanking damage right now. Most of the drones have been slaughtered. He needs to bring in reinforcements, and there they are. 7 Zealots charging in right now against Gamma Bear's Sen. Does he have the firepower to break it?
The thing is, he's got such a fantastic economy until that probe line got gutted that he's able to build so many units. So those 66 drones are pretty handy right now, and slowly but surely Sen's going to be able to hold this off.
Yeah, he doesn't have Blink, which is unfortunate because the roaches are able to throw him back again. Really well held there by Sen, honestly. Fantastic stuff. But he did lose a lot of workers. 24 killed there by Grubby in total.
Yeah, he's still at 50 drones, though, which is really nice. And roaches have speed. They're moving down onto the lower ground. He's doing so well right now with everything. I mean, he's pushed Grubby completely back. If Grubby wants to win this game, he can't continue with this. He needs to actually think about taking a 3rd base. But at the same time, this is another great addition, too. 5 Zealots to charge down. A Spinecrawler's almost dead. He could do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, he could. He just needs to have a bit of a poke at that, kill off some of these queens as well for free, because, hey, why not? And he may even force a transfuse. There's actually not enough energy to do a transfuse there, so that will die pretty much immediately. And Grubby's been managing to do some damage here, while the roaches and lings, and oh my, yeah, he's not going to take that out anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now Grubby's in this place where he's like, all right, well, what do I do now? Do I expand and sit back and let him just roll over me with Roach and Ling, or do I try and tech up and let Sen take the rest of the map? You know, this is a really hard place for Grubby right now. 92 food versus 142. So you can clearly see that he's at a disadvantage right now. He's trying to get robotics facility up. Probably going to try and squeeze a few immortals out. But against the sheer amount of units from Sen, look at that. There's just so much stuff here.
Yeah, these Void Rays are going to have a fun time with the shooting gallery, but I have to wonder how much damage they can really do here. Sen does have a very significant supply advantage. Admittedly, most of it is in roaches, and he doesn't have a lot of upgrades for them one way or the other. But yeah, Grubby has shown any signs of taking another base yet. He's got plenty of proxy pylons in, maybe to warp in. You know, what I'd like to see maybe is it would take too long, though. I mean, I would think, oh, look, he's spread out, you know, try some DT play maybe, but he doesn't have what he needs to do that. So he's going to take his 3rd up to the top here.
Well, the thing is, if he tries to add Immortals in, they're just so bad against the Lings, they can't do anything. So he has to go for Colossus, but at the same time, he has to expand. So it's like, he has to do both. and he can't really do both. And Sen will never, or should never, allow this to happen.
And he's going to try and make sure that doesn't happen. It looks like that's going to be that really should be a cancel if Sen wants to sacrifice enough for units, but he evidently does not. Doesn't want to throw those units away just yet and maybe give the advantage back to Grubby in terms of unit count. 116, 153 is looking fairly ugly for Grubby at the moment. Sen sweeping around. He's found some Void Rays here. He won't be able to catch up, so that's not too big a deal. And he's also able to confirm the fence. Obviously, those 2 Void Rays can easily kill those 2, the 3 Void Rays, 2 Hydralisks. He can deal with that easily and then try and deny a hatchery. Or alternatively, Sen could just let him shoot at it.
And once again, here comes that pretty awful switch that's going to cause Grubby a lot of trouble. And 13 Mutalisks are on the way now, so Spire finally complete. And this 4th base, it doesn't matter that much because he can very easily take the one in the center, despite not having that many mineral patches. Well, actually, he has enough Hydras here to actually chase that away, so it did get killed. But at the same time, there's so much money that Sen has available, can easily rebuild it. And 19 Mutalisks.
That's brutal.
Unit tab, 16 Stalkers, but they do not have Blink. They're 1-1, I think. Yeah, 1-1 upgrades, so there's a lot of sentries, so Guardian Shield's going to work out well, and he is cannoning well across the 3rd base, but he needs to have Blink out as soon as possible, if not thinking about going, oh my god, is he actually doing that?
He's going Fleet Beacon, which is an interesting decision, honestly. I'd have to wonder what he's doing that for. It's either a Mothership or, of course, carriers, and I think a Mothership, because he hasn't started any kind of air upgrades yet. So
it has to be a Mothership, but at the same time, it's not going to work out against what Sen has right now. You know, these Mutalisks are going to come into a naked base. There's literally nothing here. So
yeah, he's going to have to bring all of his Stalkers back, warp in an additional round, and he's not losing too much in terms of his economy. He's losing probes. Admittedly, they weren't really mining there. The problem is if he starts losing tech, if that Twilight Council ends up getting taken out, for instance, that would be disastrous. It's already been shut down. The warp-in was inadvised because that's all going to be caught and destroyed. That's the real problem with it. He should have really warped in at the top and waited. He wanted to save the Twilight Council. The Fleet Beacon's even being spotted now, and Sen's be like, oh, you have a Fleet Beacon. That's adorable. I have Mutalisks. What are you going to do about it? And unfortunately, that's a lot of gateways shut down as well.
Yeah, I mean, Sen, once again, hits with an uppercut, and it's like, well, that hurt because my chin is now bleeding. Meanwhile, the Zerglings and Roaches are coming down to this 3rd base. It is well defended, so we shouldn't see too much damage here. The main concern is his main base.
Yeah, and everything's getting gutted. He's going to lose tech. I mean, losing a Fleet Beacon and losing a Twilight Council and gateways and such, that's fairly disastrous. He is actually going to go for the Mothership, as we thought he might, but really, what's he going to do here? He's going to have to concede this tech and concede this production and then try and catch his opponent out of position. The problem is he's brought Roaches along to the party as well.
Sen's got 2,500 minerals banked up. He has so much money right now. He's just going to charge through. It doesn't really matter if he loses every single unit here. He can easily replenish that.
Yeah, and the Hydras are cut off, but the Stalkers don't have Blink, and what the hell are you going to do in that situation? They're getting absolutely annihilated. The Mutalisk count is looking really, really brutal, and while these Void Rays do try and work away at an Extractor in the corner, somehow I think that's more of a moral victory than anything else.
Well, he did get the hatchery as well, so I guess that's pretty good. But the thing is now, it doesn't matter about this Mothership. Very, very easily. There's so many mutas can snipe it. There's not enough anti-air in itself, so the Mothership's just going to immediately get killed.
Sends back up to 200, and Grubby's under 98 supply. It's looking very, very grim for him. And I don't know what it is about him and Mutalisks, man. I've seen so many games of him losing to Muta, and it's causing him some real problems at the moment, as it is a lot of other Protoss, honestly. It's a nasty switch when done at the correct time and when Unscouted and Blink is unavailable. You can see right there the Muta's just gutting everything that Grubby currently has. He will deploy the Mothership, which is probably not going to do an awful lot. Sen's going to spot that and say, hey, free food.
Let's have a look at the probes killed. So many probes being killed here. 35 probes by Grubby overall. And he's not going to fight right now, but he's building Corruptors that will just immediately shut it down, basically. Meanwhile, 200 supply can once again hit, taking a 4th base in the center of the map. Grubby trying, can he? Well, he's not really going to get anywhere soon.
No, he's not really mining from anywhere. He's got a few probes here and there. He's shielded this base for the moment, and he's trying to hide Stalkers underneath that, which is fine. The problem is the Mutas could just kill it anyway. They've got the damage to take it out before that really matters. And then, of course, Sen's like, okay, I haven't got Mutas, right? I just reinforce with all of the money I'm currently sitting on, and I just come and kill you. And with 43 Roaches on the ground with +2 Carapace upgrade, that's pretty likely to happen.
I know, it's a long shot for Grubby here, but, you know, he's a true warrior, will never give up.
Yep,
91 supply versus 200 supply. Basically, Sen can just go in and lose everything, and then remax and lose everything, and just remax and win. So it's very, very difficult for Sen to actually lose from this on position. Grubby's not mining properly from his main base gases, from the minerals that have depleted. The natural is very low as well.
He's got warp gates that aren't even warp gates anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the third base is never going to get up with mutas stopping them consistently. And meanwhile, there's a fifth going up as well for Sen. He's just in fantastic position to take this best-of-3 series versus Grubby.
Yeah, I mean, Sen's been playing extremely well. We should not take that away from him. We've been focusing a lot on Grubby, of course, who's been putting on some fantastic play, but Sen has just been really solid, making so few mistakes. The Corruptors even come and do a little bit of drive-by gang warfare on that Void Ray over there. This is very unfortunate. The Mothership is all the way over here. I'm not really sure what he's doing with the Mothership, and also he's going to have to redeploy it, and it's going to die so fast.
Yeah, they get spotted now, and everything focuses it down, and one by one, a little bit of a...
very nice.
I guess he can delay the Mothership being killed.
Yeah, he can, but what can he do against the rest of it? Stalker's coming in from the back there. The Vortex was popped up to make that happen. Mothership is finally going to fall, and this force is all that Grubby really has left at the moment. And he's able to get a very, very solid engagement, but he still doesn't really have an answer to Roaches and Mutas as well, plus the Corruptors. The Colossus falling down. The Stalker count is looking fairly reasonable for Grubby, who's microing extremely well with Blink, and now the Mutas have actually been dealt with, and Grubby is almost going to clean this up, but I suppose the stereotypical phrase is to what end? What is he going to follow that up with?
Yeah, well, the problem is there's 21 Roaches in production, Hydras as well, and even with that, Sen doesn't quite...
GG, an impressive performance by Grubby, but Sen's got that one, no doubt about that. 2-0 and in the bag. Really well played by both sides, and very entertaining and technical play by Grubby, but Sen has always been considered an extremely strong competitor.
Indeed, and Sen takes that game. Great start within this Group N, as we go down to the final groups of today as we approach 10:30 p.m. Oh my God, it's so late.
Yeah, we're pretty tired already. I think I don't even know what these are, these Swedish things, but I'm gonna drink them or eat them. I don't care which. I'll probably both drink and eat them.
And it looks like in the next 8 minutes we're gonna be going into Genius versus Preddy. So that's gonna be a pretty cool game. Preddy, though, I didn't even know. Like, there's so many people that I didn't even know still played the game. It's like, what? I didn't even know you played. So.
Yeah, he was in the last Dreamhack, actually. He played against Elfie. I think Elfie won that one. But, yeah, it's cool.
I mean, he managed to get out, like, the Dreamhack Summer Groups, I think, which was a sick surprise to everybody. But then he, like, dropped versus Huck or something, I feel. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. This is Genius. He's a Korean. He's very talented. He's a very consistent Code S player. Most recently just dropped into Code A. So, and that's going to be coming up in the next 7 minutes or so.
That it will be, folks. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will hopefully be bringing you Preddy versus Genius.